Hello everyone, welcome to the United Stand. Hope you're all doing well. It's Sunday Night Live and it's another good Sunday. We've got Adam, we've got Saeed and Ricky, and we'll be digesting what has been another good weekend for Manchester United in relation to the way we played. But we're going to get straight into this because, as we know, Saeed's not that sure about Ollie. And the title of the show is that Solskjaer, the man to win the title. These are my words. I don't really care what anybody says. I've said that Bruno would change Manchester United around. I said that we'll get third, and I'm saying that if we get Sancho, we'll win the title. But I tell you what, for the first time in a long time, I'm saying it, and it's open for the lads to say what they say, and it's open for the live comments as well. I'm telling you now, I'm seeing in Manchester United very, very big similarities. Not to Ferguson, I don't remember that, I was too young. But what Jurgen Klopp was doing at Liverpool in them early years. I'm seeing a team that's scoring a lot of goals, that's playing for each other, that is confident, that's got good young players coming through. It's got a bit of experience. There's definitely still areas. I'm not saying it's Jurgen Klopp that pushed City last season or won the title this year, but I can see United moving in the right direction under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And for me, I can see Manchester United doing what my biggest concern always was. And one of our moderators said it as well. I don't know whether he's changed his mind. What is the philosophy? What is the brand of football? What is the way Solskjaer's playing? I'm seeing that now. That to me, Saeed, yesterday, that is not just players going out. That is tactics. That is Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka being told to be on the edge of the box each side. That is patience on the ball. That is, we've gone 1-0 down. We got that drinks break. We scored 2 goals very quickly. That's Solskjaer stood on the side saying, keep doing what you're doing. Relax, confident, what we've done on the training ground. Keep rotating the ball. And I tell you who's very good at it, Luke Shaw. Oh, he doesn't do assists, this, that, and the other. He gets the ball on the left-hand side. He never gives it away. He'll always play a 5-yard pass. He keeps the ball rotating. Come on, Saeed. Give Ollie some credit or not.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for me, there's a long way to go. That's all I've got to say to you. We've seen this before when he came to the football club. We were playing a brand of football that everyone thought was exciting. It was brilliant. It was counter-attacking football. It was width, like you say. But for me, I'm still yet to be convinced. And I still think this is not a long-term for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I say that because in terms of how, certain managers have played. You got the likes of Bournemouth and Norwich. And this is my argument that I say Bruno Fernandes and Pogba are the difference right now. I don't think it's to do with all his tactics. I don't think it's to do with Kieran McKenna. I just believe that when you got Bruno Fernandes and Pogba in there, it's almost as if you become a mentor. That's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. I don't think he's a tactician. I don't think he's our manager by name, but I think he's a perfect mentor for this role. In terms of he gives the young players confidence, he can put an arm around the shoulder, is almost rejuvenating everyone in terms of how they are. I just simply go down to the tactics of there is no tactics involved. And I'll show you. There's a stat here, and I'll show you, yeah, because I'm ready today, yeah, Mark. I'm ready for you. Okay. You're going to have our average touches for the fullbacks, yeah? In Jose Mourinho's season, yeah, 17-18, Luke Shaw this season has had an average touch of 64.7, yeah? Ashley Young, by the way, in 2017 and 2018, had an average touches of 69.4. I go back to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's had 79.9, Valencia 76.3. This is all pretty similar to Jose. You're talking about how we're using the width and it's better and we're having less touches on the ball. This is what we're going down for. We'll go to goals per match. This season, we've got a goals per match of 1.70. Jose Mourinho's season of 17-18, 1.79 goals. We go to
the last 3 games, we've averaged 3.5 goals a game. You can't. I agree with you on the whole season. I agree the whole season, but it's very obvious. You've sort of said it yourself. You can sort of write off the whole season up until Bruno comes in, because when he comes in, it clicks. Yeah. So I agree with it. I agree with you on that, but you can't ignore the fact that this team. I mean, look, I'll guarantee you, average position of Young and Valencia under Mourinho was halfway line, and I said it on the preview for Bournemouth, and I saw it again. I've seen every game since the lockdown. Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw they're super fit. They're basically wingers. They're basically on the edge of there, and it's swamping teams. I've never seen our fullbacks so high since Sir Alex Ferguson days. They're so high, they're off their head.
I go back to average passes in the game. But
where are those passes being played?
Yeah, but that's what I'm on about. Look, we're talking about a brand of football. We're talking about tactics involved. That's why I'm saying the key moments in the key games, Bruno Fernandes has delivered. And that is why I keep saying Bruno FC. Before you tweeted before, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would not be in this job right now Dan might say it. It would not be in this job right now for Bruno Fernandes. And the longer this goes on, next season, you'll see the real test. Right now, we're playing games like Bournemouth, Sheffield United, where we know we're going to win. It's understandable. Where Liverpool and Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp are, they have tactics for the whole season. And the season now, they have tactics for every single game. The likes of when we're losing to Sheffield United. Man United should not be losing to Bournemouth away. They should have a tactics ready there to say, you know what, we might not have Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, but do Bournemouth cry about it? Do Norwich cry about it? It's all about how, for me, it's all about perspective. Rest right now, we're on a wave of football, but I don't see anything that's different from where we were playing when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the job to where we are right now. I just think he's got better players. And when you've got better players, it's almost as if you could sit back, relax, and enjoy what we've got right now. I'm not denying that Man United are not playing well.
But Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp can't play the way they want to play without the best players. And you mentioned two players. You mentioned two players quite a lot, and you defend them a lot as well, Saeed. And that's in Harry Maguire and Bruno Fernandes. You just said it there. They're only signings. So the job of a manager is also to bring in the right players to then start playing a better brand of football. And to be fair, all I've heard of this season and all I've heard anyone going on about positively wise is a Bruno Fernandes, an Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a Harry Maguire, Greenwood getting his chance now, and Martial going straight back in to number 9, and basically where Mourinho took him away from in the first place when he was our number 9. So I see things that I understand you going and you're not convinced and you want to see more. But if we make top 4 and win one of the trophies, where would you be then?
Well, obviously, we're happy. You know what I mean? I think that's undeniable. I think that's undeniable. That's common sense, Adam. But what my argument is. So hold on, this will be the last point. My argument is a mark of a top class manager is when you can do things from the ability of what you've got around you. So when you've not got the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Pogba, have you still got the same philosophy? Have you still got the same manager? I've seen a manager when he didn't have Pogba throw the tools. Didn't have no style of play, got beat by Bournemouth, got beat by Newcastle. That is what, for me, I'm worried about. When you've got injuries and when you've got key losses in the team, I get it, we're going to be lower. But does your method of style stop? That's what, for me, burn the game.
You could say when City make 6 changes and it's losing to Southampton. Or you could say until Van Dijk came into Liverpool, their defence was shocking. At the end of the day, you have to obviously come in. You get a little run at the start. I understand the boost that Ollie got at the start and the good feel factor. And then we're seeing the flaws. And you know what? A lot of them flaws weren't just in the manager, I thought. There was a lot of flaws in the actual team and the players. Ricky's going to come in now. He's going to talk about the amount of touches that Smalling had when Van Gaal was in charge. But where are them touches, like Mark said? You know what I mean? Everyone has really good stats for a player, but what are the most important stats?
You can manipulate stats to make any player good.
The most important stat for me right now is 16 games unbeaten, 11 wins, 42 goals scored, and 6 goals conceded. And I've heard so many people moan about our
winning form.
So many people moan about our defense. It's like, steady on a minute. We've got 6 goals conceded here in 16 games in all competitions.
We're the best team. We're the best team in England since Bruno came in. We'd be top of the league.
Oh, we are.
Since Bruno came.
So Saeed's point on Bruno is valid because he has lifted this team to another level, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, Ollie still brought him in. So the argument's there on that one. Like I said, there's all sorts of arguments all over the pitch. Some people, I just don't understand the Luke Shaw argument. I still never will. But I've never known a player divide opinion on a player so much in my life. Same with Ollie right now. Same with Maguire.
Let's do that for a minute, actually, Adam. You raise a good point. Saeed, and we'll get Ricky on this. Ricky, you first.
Ricky, you go first.
Tell us about Luke Shaw. I don't know what Ricky's going to say about Luke Shaw. I haven't really heard him much say about Luke Shaw. What do you think, Luke Shaw? Good, bad player, unfair, whatever. And then we'll get Saeed. Do we know what he's going to say?
Luke Shaw's an excellent player.
Yeah, I knew he'd say that.
Come on, Adam.
When Ollie decides in certain big games that we need to play with 3 central defenders, I've mentioned this to a few people who have come back at me and said that just means that he's versatile. It doesn't mean that he's a good player. believe me, it's only good players who switch from full back to centre back. They don't trust all full backs to cover as a third centre back, and they've got every confidence in him. And when he does it, he plays really well as a third centre back. Now I know he's not playing as a third centre back, but he's a top player. Now, obviously, you know, he gets forward, and I've seen something about he hasn't got many assists, but sometimes assists, particularly for full backs, you need a little bit of luck on your side. I mean, he put a great ball in at Spurs when Marshall's forced a great save from the keeper when he tips it over the bar. That was from
the same at Leicester. Same at Leicester.
And all right, it was a cup tie. But Igalo's goal at Norwich, he doesn't get the assist, but it was him that drove forward and drove the ball into the box. He doesn't get the assist because it ricocheted a little bit in the box. But you know what I mean? He's good enough going forward, and you don't always get the assists that your play deserves. And like you said, Mark, before, I agree with that. It's not always the right decision. The way we're playing at the minute, if I could just touch on what Saeed was talking about the lack of style of play. I was banging on after the Norwich game that we've got to stop shooting from all stupid distances, and we've got to stop trying to kill the balls from all stupid angles and positions. And it's been a breath of fresh air the 2 games since then. It's been an absolute breath of fresh air. No stupid shots from stupid distances. No killer ball.
What about yesterday? Yesterday we scored some absolute worldy goals, mate.
Yeah, but they were all chances, Mark. They weren't all. None of them were from stupid positions. We were shooting from stupid positions before. Well, think about Marshall's. Look, Marshall's great at that. Marshall's absolutely brilliant at that. But you've still got to appreciate that when he took his shot, he was about a yard outside the box. It wasn't 10 yards outside the box like we've been shooting from. We have in the last 2 weeks. I'm talking now.
Ricky, I've just got some amazing breaking news for you here. This is coming from a very credible journalist. His name is DiMarzio, and he's tweeted in the last 2 minutes that Nemanja Matic has signed a new contract with Manchester United till 2023.
Right.
And you're live on air, Ricky. You're live on air for this. It's almost like it was meant to be. Matic signs a new contract with Ricky live on air. 2023. I mean, that's. Look, fair play. He's deserved it. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, but all I was talking about there was the change in tactics. There's been a complete change. There's been a sea change in our tactics in the last 2 games compared to the previous games, without a doubt. An absolute sea change. No stupid shots, no stupid through balls that are not on. And
I thought the Sheffield United game was the same as Brighton for me. I think the Norwich one got in the way, but the Sheffield United tactics were banged on.
On the Sheffield United game, Adam, I'm telling you, there's too many shots from too much distance, and there's too many through balls that weren't on. Against Brighton, I could tell in the first 10 minutes against Brighton that it was different. In the first 10 minutes, it was different.
But I watched that City and Liverpool game the other day, and I've seen so many balls given away by the top 2 teams in the league, playing balls that you would have probably said, like you said, Ricky, weren't on, but they are sort of chancing and testing defences out as well. I was amazed how many long balls Liverpool played, but it's the tactic that they actually have. And I think I've seen De Bruyne give the ball away about 4 times, and then all of a sudden comes up and just steals the show completely. I understand where you're coming from with it. I really do. I just think that the best 2 teams in the league do take a lot more risks.
2 games, there's no shadow of a doubt that Ollie has spoken to him and told him.
I wouldn't go that far, but no. I do feel like they've had to iron the game out a little bit, especially after Norwich.
What do you think about this then, Ricky? Just seriously, he's 31. He's going to be 32 in August next month. In fact, in about 4 weeks' time, Matic is 32, and we've given him a contract now for another 3 years.
For 3 years, so it takes
23.
So
I think that's a bad move. I do. I think it's a bad. This is Man United again. I think that's a bad deal. I think Igalo was a bad deal. I think this is a bad deal. I like Ighalo and I like Matic, but he's 32 and we're giving him a contract till he's 35. And last year he was crap and he's had a good 6 months. And he's let me be honest, he's had a superb 6 months, but who knows what he's going to do over 3 years. I tell you what, this is what worries me a little bit about whether we're going to get Sancho. Greenwood's played great yesterday. We don't need Sancho. Matic is playing great. We don't need a CDM. He's a 1 year man if you want to win a title, Matic. 1 year. He's not a 3 year man. I think that's a bad move. I don't think 3 years. I think 3 years is wrong. I've got to be honest. I love the guy. I wish we'd give him another year, but I wouldn't give him 3.
1 year. 1 year would have made sense. 1 year. Rolling contract.
I thought we did give him 1 year.
We have given him a year, yeah, but we're obviously going to give him a 3 year now. Did it with Mata last year as well? Did it to Mata last year?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, Matic gets in the first team right now, doesn't he? But I mean, it's like you said, isn't it? How old was Pirlo? I'm not saying he's the same sort of player. How old are these players who don't do much running, just influence the game?
Isn't it? Premier League CDM, running it on your own at 34, 33.
I would have liked to see Declan Rice come in, but
he doesn't necessarily have to be like that, does it? I mean, if he signed a 3 year contract, I've got no doubt in my mind. In my opinion, he's the best CDM in the Premier League this season. At the minute, I've got no reason to think that won't be the case next season. That leaves 2 seasons. Maybe in the season after next, we've got somebody else, and he only plays half as much. Don't forget, even next season. He doesn't necessarily. He's already not playing in the cup size, is he? He didn't play at Norwich, he didn't play at Derby County. He's already not playing in them sort of games. He's picking. He's come full circle, hasn't he? It isn't too long ago that they were the only games he was playing in.
Yeah.
And now picking him in those games, picking him in the league games. Next season, he only has to play. Even if he plays in the big cup sides and most of the league games, he's only got to play 40 games. He hasn't got to play 60 games. Well, I think he's definitely all right for next season, maybe for the season after, but certainly by the season after, maybe he's only got to play 30 games. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I
Rick,
don't really think it's a bad thing.
You're over the moon anyway. You've got 3 more years of Matic. Enjoy it. We're all enjoying the last few years of Ronaldo and Messi, and you get 3 more years of Matic as well.
Over the moon.
But look, I'll go to Adam and give him a chance. Saeed, very, very quickly then, because the question sort of, I love it because we move off in different areas. It's like one of them stand-up comedians, isn't he? He starts a story and then he tells it an hour later. But I genuinely think this Manchester United side, I see, and I know what you're going to say, and I know what live comments are saying. You're stupid. What you're talking about? But I've seen this. I remember it happening with Klopp. I do. I've seen this sort of sprouts of positivity. What's happening in that team. And yeah, you're right. Bruno's made the difference, but we should have bought Bruno last summer. That's not Ollie's fault. They should have got him last summer. They lied that they weren't in for him. They bloody well were. You don't say we're not in for a player and then desperately buy him in January. That's not how it works. We were in for him and we backed off for the money as per usual. And then we had to do it because Pogba and McTominay are injured. And we're lucky to have Bruno in a way, but he is the player that's made the difference. And I guarantee you, Pep and Klopp would not do well with Pereira, Lingard and Mata. You can't play your game with them. You can't play the game that we're playing now. Do you think Manchester United can win the title with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
No. Simple as that. No. Absolutely not. He's the best manager to leave it for another manager to come in. So another manager like Pochettino, Nagelsmann, something like that to come in and step in and do the real damage for me. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like I said to you, is a perfect mentor. He's come in, he's set the tone for the club. You know what I mean? He's put a kind of a positive feel around. I've seen empty seats go from full seats. You know what I mean? But to take the next step, that's why I call myself the realist, because I know that we're getting too giddy.
You get called something else as well.
Well, well, what has happened is we got excited when Mourinho left. We got excited. There was a brand of football that I'd never seen before, and I was singing Ollie at the wheel. I'll be real with you. I was singing Ollie at the wheel.
I know you were there. I was with you outside Old Trafford. You was giving me a kiss and everything.
No, not too far. But what has happened is we've seen the layers of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The layers have come out bit by bit, and the frailties, I've seen it. I really have seen it, and I've seen him bottle it, because he's gone from his system and his style, and then he's almost gone into a counter-attacking team, and then he's almost said, you know what? What's my idea now? And he's almost bottled it against Burnley, the likes of Newcastle. We've seen it before, and I almost think like Solskjaer can take us to a barrio. but I don't think he can take us any more further than here. Right now is a ceiling for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. To get to the next ceiling, Man United fans that think that we're going to get to the next ceiling Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm sorry, but you're all deluded. I really am, yeah, because he's not. Yeah, well, you, and you know. I just really think.
Hey, don't tarnish me. Yeah, I've not spoken yet.
But honestly, what I believe is, and this is no joke aside, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing well at the minute, and he's bringing a massive atmosphere to the club. But I just think we've got to be careful what we wish for. And what we wish for right now with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is too much for me. You've got to tell him, right, you've done your job right now, but we need to take it to the next level. And Man United fans should not be ever thinking about top 4 more than winning the title. Because that's what I believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can only do right now.
Adam, are we not at that next level when we are walking into 8 games and saying we need to win all these to get top 4, and we're actually doing that, which we weren't doing for the last 6 years? And this is exactly what Man City and Liverpool do. We're already good against the top 6, but we're now doing what Man City and Liverpool do by beating the teams we should do. So will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer be the man to take us to the title? Because I see enough there. I mean, I do. I genuinely do.
You mentioned it then. You've seen similarities in the start of Klopp's reign. And you know what? It's funny you should say that, because I know a lot. Obviously, me, Ricky, and Said are all Manchester lads, and we live. And our neighbours down the East Lancs are Liverpool. And I have, in my business, a lot of Liverpool supporters. It's been a horrible couple of weeks, I'm not going to lie. But what most of them do say, and when you do sit down and talk to them, they know the football, obviously. They live for it. They're passionate about it. But what a lot of them do say is, yeah, we're absolutely buzzing at the moment, but they have got, a lot of them, a realistic head on their shoulders. They're worried about the age of the players that they have got right now, and they know they're not the youngest squad in the world, Liverpool. And then the next thing that comes out of the mouth is the similarities, like you said, Denmark, that United are going through right now. And they're saying, and their words are that this United team is looking like what Liverpool were when they were just turning the corner and starting to hit the right direction. Now, Ole, I don't see him winning the league next season, but I'm willing to see Ole in charge of Manchester United to get to the next step, to then see if he can go to the next level. And that will be all about who he lets go. Has he got the Niagaras to ship out the 7 players that we know need shipping out, so we don't lose young players like Gomez? So we have got a wage bill that can attract and can balance the books for better players to come in. This is a challenge for Ole now, because I'm seeing enough in terms of transfers coming in, but I want to see him be ruthless as well. I want to see the likes of Jones, Rojo, Lingard, Mata, Pereira, the players we know haven't got a future at this club going forward. I want to see them out. I want to see them gone in the next 2 years. That's what I want to see from Ole. No more sentimental stuff. That's his next challenge for me. That's what I think is hampering us right now, because them players are right in front of great prospects coming through. And we're seeing one now come through in Greenwood. He's taking his chance. We're talking about players who could probably learn from a Matic over this contract that he's got. A player like Garner in the same sort of squad, learning from a player like Matic coming through. He's not going to get that chance with the players that we've got hanging around on stupid wages. But for me, I'm all in on Ole giving the chance to see. The next level is comfortable top 4 for us, because we've not been comfortable top 4. That is our next level. And then I want to see where we can go from there, because right now we are clinging on to top 4, aren't we? We're playing the right football. We've got a fully fit squad, and lockdown has played into our hands. I said it would, and it is. It's played right into our hands, because we've never had so many players to choose from. And for me, I just want to see what he does next. I'm all in on him staying. I know he's going to be there next season anyway, but I want to see what comes next. That's where I'm at with it. I'm trying to be step by step. I know we're not at City's level. The points tally says it all, and Liverpool's level, but I can see signs, and this is the best football I've seen us play since Ferguson left. That's what I'm going to say. So for me, that deserves a little bit more time to see if we can improve even more and build a winning mentality, because we have to build that. It's not all about adding players in. We have to get a mentality into our players of winning. Like, we can go out on the pitch, we can go behind against Bournemouth, and I can sit back on my couch and go, you know what? I still think we're going to batter him. I still think that, like you said, then we're 1-0 down in the first half with 25 minutes to go, and I'm just making a brew 3-1 up at half time. I want to be that confident. And I was yesterday. I've not felt like that for a while. So I want to see what he can do and progress with, and what I know it's going to be difficult because, like you've touched on there, what's Ed Woodward going to do? And so he's already making signs, and we're already seeing signs of a typical Ed Woodward summer, scraping the barrel and you know what I mean, changing. It's just, I feel like it's played into our hands a little bit, but financially going into the summer for what we know we need to have quality in depth in the summer and what he needs to be able to work with, because we're 2 or 3 injuries away from our Mourinho team again. That's what my worry is. I don't think he is going to get given. He's not going to get given everything he needs, I don't think, this summer. But I do see enough on the pitch right now, like the fact that you said the fullbacks so high up. Never mind the fullbacks. We knew that there was going to be a low block yesterday, and the centre backs. I've never seen Lindelof so far forward. You know what I mean? He was in the box at one point having a shot. You know what I mean? So he knew what was coming, and I've seen a tactic there that was set for that game, and it ultimately did. I know Bournemouth were on their asses and they were completely down and out at the moment, but still, I'm seeing enough there. I want to see him, what he can do at the next level for me. Top 4, that's brilliant. What I would have set out at the start of this season, and then I want to see what he can do, and then I'll judge it after that.
Ricky, I mean, you like to delve in, and I'm sure you've watched yesterday's game about 10 times. Where do you sit on this? I mean, it seems like Saeed's no. Adam's like, yeah, let's see what happens. And I'm like, yeah, I think he can. I actually think he can be the man to win a title. What are your thoughts? And, you know, obviously, there was a super chat from Sean Turner then saying, I agree with Saeed. I can't see anything tactical, which just stuns me because I've watched football for so long. I can see tactics, but what can you see?
A good point that one of you, I can't remember who made it, one of you made it a touch earlier about the fact that we were doing okay against the big sides earlier, but we weren't putting the small teams to bed. We've had plenty of times over recent years where we've struggled to beat these teams that we're now beating, you know, comfortably the last 3 games. You know, fingers crossed it carries on Thursday night. And that's always been a massive, massive difference. Them points against these little teams, just the odd draw here and there, puts you, you know, you can be 10 points behind by the time you've played 7 or 8 games. You know, with this little run that we're putting together, we've got 1 or 2 slightly tougher ones coming up, only slightly. I don't think West Ham look too bad like Bournemouth and Norwich, and I certainly don't think Southampton look too bad. If we can beat these teams and put a run together where we're beating, all right, some of the terrible teams, but a couple of the half-reasonable ones as well, I'll be more confident going into next season that we could, you know, the way it is these days, you used to be able to draw a couple along the way, even early doors. You know, we're probably going to have to win at least 8, if not 9, out of our first 10. And if you don't, you're going to be out of it. Do you know what I mean? So, or it could happen. That could easily happen. That's what it's been like the last couple of years. And the way we're looking at the minute, I think we can. Getting back to, I mean, Saeed keeps harking back to him getting beat at Bournemouth and getting beat at Newcastle. He didn't have Matic, he didn't have Pogba, he didn't have Bruno Fernandes, he didn't have, I know he played at Bournemouth, but at Newcastle he didn't have Anthony Martial. It's like he might as well be managing a different club for the players that he had then. To the players.
But that's what makes a great manager, though. That's what makes him a great manager, isn't it, Ricky? You know,
Saeed, it does, but it doesn't make you a bad manager if you can't win games with Pereira and Lingard.
No, I didn't say that, but that's the difference for me. If we're talking about title talk, that's what you got to do. Like, I don't know, for me, you know, we're looking at the games next season. If you look at, we've got Champions League. If we do the Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, all these fixtures congested. You know what I mean? This isn't now. We're playing football every 4 days now, and we're getting excited, and it's brilliant. And I know people can get carried away, but next season, that's why I'm on about the real test is when you've got the likes of, you know, Wolves away, and then you've got, let's say, Sheffield United away, back-to-back away games. Can we do the business? That's the sign of a top manager. And I don't know. That's why I'm saying it remains to be seen. I'm not excluding Ollie out, and I'm not excluding him saying he can't do it. I just doubt his credentials, and I doubt he can deliver. Well, I'm not saying defense. No, I'm not saying the defense because I've already said
fence has got Ollie out written on it on the other side. So you turn around on the fence and you go, "Look, I've always said this. I'm sat on this fence," and then when it's on the other side, it says Ollie in.
No, but I've always said I'm not the fan of. I was a fan of Ollie, and I love the wave of football. It brought positive to me. I was excited again. But then when I seen the layers of Ollie, that's when I realised he's not the man for the job. Simple as that.
I think what where it's nice to go next is actually, because I must say I do think Solskjaer can be the man to win the job. I also think it's very important, as I said a couple of weeks, that he is the man to win the job, because I tell you what, Liverpool have won it this year. They could win it next year. They could win it the year after. If we're going to give Ollie next season. If he's not the man, that's another manager that's got to come in, whether it's Said, Poch or whoever. He's going to need a couple of years. And within 3 years, Liverpool could win 2 or 3 titles. So Ollie needs to be the man, and I think he can be the man. But what I would agree with Said, and I'm sure everyone would say, is that this team can't win the title. It can't. You're one injury away from trouble. You really are, and you can't do that over a season.
I think the team could. I don't think the squad could.
No,
definitely
not 60 games. Which is interesting, because I want to bring a couple of things in here, because it's very interesting, because I know it changes all the time as to what you think the key positions are, because we've had 2 United legends come out, and basically Scholes said we need a centre forward and a centre back. No right winger, no midfielder. We need a centre forward and a centre back. And Lindelof needs somebody next to him like Rio or Vidic, who's a bully. He doesn't reference Maguire, which was quite interesting. So Scholes, probably not a big fan of Harry Maguire. But then Rio has said, Harry needs some pace next to him. We need a centre-back. We need a forward to challenge with the front 3. So that could be Sancho. And we need a physically dominant midfielder. So that's what Rio and 2 United greats, totally different opinions, really, and totally different opinions on the centre-back. We'll talk about the sort of players we need to bring in. I think it's a very good point. And I was very interested by Harry Maguire from Rio saying he needs a bit of pace, which I agree. But Scholesy basically saying Lindelof needs a Rio next to him, which is the quicker player, who's a bit good in the air. A bit of a Van Dijk, I suppose. Harry Maguire, we spoke about the hair.
Harry Maguire's not fault for the goal, by the way. Harry Maguire is not at fault for the goal yesterday, by the way. And I understand he gets megged in the box.
He got sent back to bloody Leicester.
No, listen. You didn't see the ratings video, Mark.
No, listen. Go on. Harry Maguire wasn't at fault for the goal. Go.
No, I didn't say that.
Clip this.
Clip it. What I'm trying to say to listen. What I'm trying to say to you, football is a given right in the box that you get megged, you get, someone sends you to the shops, and that happens in football. But the lead up to the goal is where Man United need to concentrate on. Luke Shaw, I don't know if you see the. No, hold on. Luke Shaw.
Like Charlie's not Pogba's fault.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw. Let me just hold this on. Luke Shaw is out of position. Ricky's best mate Matic covers Luke Shaw on the left hand side. Luke Shaw is out of position. I don't know who the player was. He crosses it into the box. Lindelof. You need to watch out for Lindelof. He headers the ball right into the danger area. You don't understand, guys. He headers the ball right into the danger area. Harry Maguire, understand him. He got sent back to Leicester. He got sent back to Sheffield. I understand that. What happens then is Lindelof, I don't know what he's doing. He's in a space, where he's not marking anyone. The play, what's his name? The guy who scored could have easily passed it to Josh King. Should have scored. David De Gea should have saved that goal. He's on his near post. Is his favourite position. He should have saved that. Harry Maguire, I get it. People get nutmeg football. Ronaldinho used to nutmeg everyone in football, but that's not where the danger comes from. You've got to clear the box before it gets to the danger, and
it
that
wasn't
is why.
There was it? It was
Stanislas.
I'm gonna back Said up a little bit here, because if anyone didn't watch the play rate, he still give Harry Maguire a 5 out of 10 yesterday. So he wasn't rating him up. I think everyone just got completely. I think because there've been high-profile sort of mistakes from the likes of Maguire, people are coming down on him, the price tag and everything like that. I just looked it up before, actually. I've done a Ricky myself, actually, tonight. Ricky, you're spreading, mate. You really are. But this season, it's like most passes in Manchester United squad, Harry Maguire. Most aerial duels won, Harry Maguire. Most clearances, Harry Maguire. Most interceptions, Harry Maguire. It's all in the Premier League.
Keep going.
Yeah. So when people start talking, like Ricky's going to talk now, I know he is, but when people start talking and slagging him off, it's like this is his first season at a major football club as well. He's having to adapt to a new pressure which has been brought on him. He's been given the captaincy there. Some would say, well, that was a bit too soon for a player just coming into the club. That was all his shout on that one. That wasn't Maguire, but he's accepted it. He's took it on. And for me, I think he does get a lot of unfair stick. I'm not saying I gave him a 4 out of 10 yesterday. I thought Harry Maguire played his worst game for Manchester United yesterday. I thought his passing was the worst I've seen him. And I thought his decision-making, which is the most important for me as a centre-back, was not good enough yesterday. I thought yesterday the whole sort of start to the game was very lackadaisical. We took Bournemouth for granted a little bit in the way we set out. And I thought the defence centrally, all in all, was bailed out by the forward line yesterday. And the forwards have took the headlines away from some poor defending. I don't think we would defend that bad. We won't defend that bad if we played a better team. We'd be more switched on. And I just think that people are just overreacting. And there's a few people who just don't like certain plays. Flex touched on it yesterday, how we're finding fault with a 5-2 defeat. The first words that coming out of some people's mouths from me were, he's shocking, he needs to be dropped, he needs to be this. And I'm just like, I replied to him, I went, 5-2? I'm 6. That's what I was looking at. I understand where people are coming with the mistakes in that bigger games when it was maybe 1-0 and it was a tighter game.
That's the worry, though, isn't it? That is the worry. That's the worry, Harry Maguire.
I understand that totally.
I think I really like Harry Maguire. I think he's had a good season, and I want to get into that debate about the centre backs. But we'll give Ricky his say. Yeah,
Lindelof was better in the first half than Maguire yesterday. I don't know why Lindelof was brought off. To be honest,
I think he had a knock on his back. But the problem with Harry Maguire is that this is what worries me is that there's some, and it's the same as De Gea, and I like them both. I wouldn't say get rid of them. I'm not bothered about the price tag. You just got to take it on you. You know, we had Arsenal fans saying that bloody Mustafi's better than him. We know that's crap, but you've got to take this. That's football. Last night, you've got to take it. Mustafi did well. Harry Maguire didn't. But it's the second time in 4 Premier League games he's made really bad errors. And Saeed saying anyone can get nutmegged. His position, his body sense is wrong. He as a centre back, you look at what Wan-Bissaka would do: low sense of gravity, on the turn, ready. I don't mind getting nutmegged, but it's standing there like you're waiting for your Tesco delivery whilst he walks past you and puts it in the net. Anyone can get nutmegged, but it's the anticipation to get nutmegged that you actually then block him off as he goes past. He just absolutely planted his 2 slabs of meat feet and just stood there, and that was the thing. He didn't. It's like it. I don't know, something with Harry Maguire at the moment. He's just the goal against Spurs as well, showing a player inside and he runs through the middle. He knows Lindelof's not got the recovery pace. He's a brilliant centre-back, but they are bad mistakes. I don't know what you think, Ricky.
I just wanted to jump in there, but I couldn't when Adam was reeling off a load of stats. And I'm not anti Harry. I think he's playing all right in general. I know that he has made a couple of errors recently, but the stat you said earlier in the show, Mark, about how you can twist stats, and some of the stats that Adam brought up there about Harry Maguire, I think one was won the most headers in the team. Well, that's always going to be your centre half. You play with 2 centre backs, and one of you, if it isn't one of your 2 centre backs winning the most headers in the team, because a lot of people will hear them stats and think, "Wow, he's won more headers than everybody else." It's not more headers than everybody else. It's just more headers than Lindelof. It's always going to be. Now, also,
400.
Not all teams press up to try and take the ball off you. And there's lots of passes played along the back line. If you look at any team in the league, the players with the most passes are going to be the 2 centre-backs. So I think most passes, most headers, it's always going to be your centre-backs. So they're not really relevant stats then. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, but they're the simple balls that you like, then, Ricky, those, mate.
No, they are. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, Adam, at all. I'm just saying, like, I'm just agreeing with Mark from earlier, stats can be misleading. And when you put them stats out, I don't know how many thousand people are watching, Mark. There might be 5,000 or 6,000 people saying to them, mate, say Harry Maguire's won more headers than anybody else. Of course he has.
It don't matter how many's watching, it's Saeed talking. They won't let you.
What's happening is, though?
Is he 6'4"? He's 6'4". He's centre back. Of course, he's going to win more headers than anybody else.
It's like finger though, isn't it? It's like Rashford having the most goals and the most assists in the Premier League for us this season. Having 2 months out, it's a major start for me. But people want him out the team.
What's happening?
You know what I mean? It's manipulation.
Where would you go with the centre backs though, Saeed? So you're going to Well, look. Both Rio and Scholes have said we need a centre back. I sort of thought, for me, I want Sancho and Grealish in the summer and maybe a centre-back long-term. But actually, I haven't seen it yesterday. Twansebi has been out for a year. He's been out for a year. I don't know what's wrong with him. Phil Jones is a waste of space. Bay really worries me. I actually did a couple of months ago. I was like, Bay can be the solution. Ricky was like, no. I actually agree with Ricky. I don't rate Bay. I think he takes risks you don't need to do. Lindelof and Maguire, for me, never going to win a title with them because there's not enough pace there. And I saw Bournemouth actually a few times running down the flanks because Shaw and Wan-Bissaka were forward and they're hitting the long ball into the flanks. And Lindelof's puffing. And, against better players, they're going to get done. So what do you do? Do you want a centre-back? And is it, obviously, you're going to keep Maguire, but, what are you thinking about centre-back?
Of course, centre-back's paramount. I just want to, just before we touch on centre-back, what I want to say is about tactically, the full-backs are pushing that forward. I think on the training ground, there needs to be something worked on because Harry Maguire and Lindelof are getting exposed a lot at 1v1 situation. So something needs to be done in terms of the training ground for that one. But in terms of centre-back, for me, Koulibaly is a must this summer. I've heard nonsense on Twitter, and it's absolutely nonsense that he's old. You know what I mean? He's slow. He's lost it. Absolutely
too
crazy.
Expensive, I think.
I think too expensive, but what we've got to realise is what do we want to do? You know what I mean? We're paying 120 million for Sancho. Why not pay 70 million for Koulibaly? He's going to make a difference. He's going to come into the team and be a mainstay, and that's what you want. Sancho, when he comes to the team, he's going straight into the lineup. And then Wan-Bissaka came to the game, he came straight into the lineup. That's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has maybe done right in. He's bought players that are coming into the club. Koulibaly will be a massive plus for United. If he can come in, strengthen the defence, can cover his intelligence on the ball, he's got the quick reading of the game, and then almost give that protection for Harry Maguire. So Harry Maguire steps in, Koulibaly will come out on the outside, cover in position, and then we can be more solid. But if we don't buy Koulibaly, and we rely on buying, for me, he's injury prone. I think he's got qualities, but he's injury prone. Lindelof, for me, is not good enough. Twanzebe is injury prone. And Jones is Jones, isn't it? So for me, we have to get Koulibaly. We get Koulibaly next summer, top four secured.
Adam,
yeah, I mean,
what would you do with the centre backs?
Is Koulibaly? I'm looking at him there and going, you know what? Is he the speed that we need? I'm not sure how quick he is. I'm not 100% on.
Very quick.
He's quick, but he is like 29, playing in a very slow league.
For me, I'll go back to my stat again. I know it's another stat, but it's the big one. It's 6 goals conceded in 16 games. We played Wolves twice in that one. City.
A lot of them have been errors as well. A lot of them goals have been errors.
So we've got the most mistakes leading to a goal conceded is De Gea. So you can't always blame the defence for that. I'm looking at Koulibaly there. I'm thinking Napoli, sort of similar sort of position to us in the Italian league. And then I'm going, you know what, Koulibaly's had an all right season there. And I'm thinking, I don't think we need to sort of go hell-bent on a centre-back just yet. I think we need centre midfield more and the right side attack as cover because a few of our creative players go down, then we're struggling. So I'm looking at Koulibaly there, and I know Ricky's going to jump on this one straight away. He really is. But we've got another centre-back who's already playing similar and is as quick as Koulibaly, and Chris Smalling, who's already at Roma. So does Chris Smalling come back, save us the money? Because Chris Smalling's never played with a decent centre-back partner. I mean, you know what I mean? He's been playing with some, pardon the French, some dog shit in our time as centre-back. Has he been given a fair crack at the whip? I know people are going to go crazy at me, I know, but my priority isn't centre-back. It really isn't. We've already got a centre-back who's in Italy who could come in and do a better job than Lindelof because Smalling is very, very quick.
I think Smalling and I agree. I think
quick.
Smalling and Maguire would be a good partnership. But again, we'll all be getting pelters in the live comments to tell you.
Yeah. And for me, I'm definitely agreeing on the combative midfielder and the right-hand side. Was it Ferdinand who said combative midfielder? I think it was, wasn't it? I'm agreeing on that side of it more than a centre-back right now. I just see the centre-backs and our defence it's not a priority for me. I understand where people are coming from, the mistakes and everything. I really do. But I want to make sure that we've got cover. If Bruno Fernandes or Pogba or Martial or Rashford get injured, easily done, because we've seen the injury record for at least 3 of them this season. If they go out the team, I'm not worried so much if Maguire gets injured than a Fernandes or a Pogba. I think the central midfield and the right-hand side of attack, another attacking player as such, like like a Sancho is where I would go in terms of priority right now. I really do, because I think the way we're playing, defensively, I'm not too concerned because we have got a good setup going on there. And we have got, well, you could say it's not reasonable cover, but I do think we've got cover at centre-back to see us through a sort of injury spell. Whereas in midfield, I don't think we've got anything. We've seen that with the likes of Pereira, Lingard, Mata coming in, who can't sustain and can't have a steady run of games in the team. We can't perform to the same level. So for me, I'm looking at trying to save where I can and go hell-bent on the midfield and attack, because that's where we are severely lacking. I just feel like the creativity side is at its peak now, but we all know if Pogba and Bruno are not in that team, Said said it, we're a different team altogether. We are a completely different animal. Defence can hold its own. We all know we've had all right defences. We can play a certain way, but we can't attack the same way without them creative midfield players and the attacking players. We can set up a team to defend, but we ain't got anywhere near enough squad to go out and attack if we miss some key attacking players. So that's my areas, definitely midfield and attack.
I think it's a shame that Lindelof or Harry Maguire don't have a couple of yards of pace, because I don't think we'd be having this chat. But what do you feel about the centre-back situation, Ricky? We've spoken about whether Solskjaer can win a title. I just think when you look at those mistakes, and look, Lindelof could have been skinned last night. For me, it's not about Harry Maguire. It's not about David De Gea. We aren't conceding many goals, but when we do, they are mistakes. And I do think the way we're playing at the moment, we are prone to being hit on the break. And I do think that if we'd made that mistake yesterday, and he could have made it yesterday against Liverpool or Chelsea, are you going to come back and win 5-2? I don't think you are. I think, those mistakes maybe cost you the result. So is it a priority for you, centre-back?
Yeah, it is. I think completely opposite to Adam. I think it's probably where we've got the least cover. You know what I mean? If I was to say, like, at the minute, we've got a front three that seems to be pretty regular, Greenwood, Marshall and Rashford. I think Dan James and Juan Mata as attacking players are better players than the centre-backs that we've got covering the centre-backs. Do you know what I mean? I think they're still at least decent players. Even Juan Mata, still a decent player. But I think at centre-back, I think we're struggling beyond the front two. I really do. I've always said I don't rate Bailey. He's too clumsy. Apart from the fact that he's injury prone. So if Bailey happens to be injured, because he can get injured in training or in a cut tie, if he happens to be injured at the same time as Maguire or Lindelof gets injured, we'd be in a fine mess. You know what I mean? I think we desperately need a centre back, whether it's a centre back as cover or a centre back to come in the team. Now, you've mentioned Smalling. I've got nothing against Smalling playing. I rate him. I think Smalling and Maguire would be a good pairing. I don't think when they played together, I don't think Smalling and Lindelof was a bad pairing. So I think we'd be covered. But in Smalling's favour, if you like, he wanted to leave because he wasn't guaranteed a place. He wants to play, and I think that's great credit to him. He doesn't just want to sit on the bench and get his X amount of pounds a week. He wants to play. That's the only reason he left, because Ollie wouldn't guarantee him a place. So I don't know if that's going to change. If that's not going to change, he's going to want to stay in Rome or go somewhere else. And there's teams of, not much lesser standing than what we are who will guarantee him a game. Trust me. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if we'll go down that route. If we don't go down that route of offering Smalling a more regular game, we need to buy someone, I think.
Interesting to see. I don't think we will actually buy anybody in the summer, but we'll see what happens in the centre-back situation. One thing I did want to talk about actually was the penalty situation yesterday. I think, again, it's a bit like Adam was saying about the mistakes. People want to talk about the mistakes, and there were mistakes. And I always think, actually, not in a way to have a go at Harry Maguire. And one thing I would say about Harry Maguire is he never gets a rest. He plays every bloody game as well. I've always been against that. I think he should have been rotated a couple of times, but maybe the drop-off, like Ricky said, is just too much for Solskjaer to do it. But the interesting thing is that on the penalty situation, I got nervous when Bruno didn't take it. And I thought, if Rashford misses this, it's a key penalty. Then he scores it and you go, nice one, getting him a bit of confidence. And I saw, what was it you tweeted about it, Ricky? Because I want to get everyone's thoughts. But what do you think about that? Bruno takes the penalties. I've got total confidence.
90% of people who came, I asked the question on Twitter, like, why was Bruno taken off penalties? And lots of people said, he wasn't taken off. Some people said he's just a good man and he knows Rashford needs a confidence boost and blah, 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 which is all fine. And it's probably, I'm sure it's all true. It wasn't, I think it was down to them on the field. I just don't agree with that in general. I like to have my penalty taken nailed on. If I was the gaffer, I'd be saying at half time, what went on there? Imagine if he misses. I know he's scored it, and I know he's a good penalty taker, but he could have missed it. He has missed a couple this season. Do you know what I mean?
We did it at Wolves as well, didn't we?
Took it off him at Wolves and missed. It also, I mean, call me old-fashioned, maybe I'm imagining this, but I feel as though there's ever slightly more chance of missing a penalty when you've had all that kerfuffle, you take it and all that. You should have your penalty taker nailed on, and the penalty taker takes it. That's how I feel about it.
It annoyed me a little bit, Saeed, actually, because I saw a couple of free kick situations yesterday, and Rashford hit it, and the keeper saved it, and a lot of people it's a good free kick, and I was like, no, Bruno should be on these as a free kick taker. I saw it with Chelsea yesterday. You almost need a couple of sighters to get your eye in. And if you're doing this whole you take one, I take one, it's a bit like what Ricky's saying with the penalties there. I feel like Rashford, because he's been on free kicks and penalties, there's a bit of fairness about it. But there's nothing fair in football. If you want to win, you put your best on it. But we got away with it yesterday.
Yeah, we did. For me, the penalty one, I purely put it down to confidence. I think Bruno Fernandes, I don't know if you've seen it, but they had a little chat and said, you best thank me later, almost kind of, And I felt like Rashford owes that to Bruno Fernandes, But in terms of the free kicks, I don't want to see Rashford near a free kick, to be honest with you. It's a bit like Ronaldo. Ronaldo has about 100, but scores about one. I don't know if you see, he scored one yesterday, but he'll probably miss about another 100 after that. So Rashford does it in moments where they want to get Chelsea, you know what I mean? But the other 50 he does it terribly. So Bruno Fernandes has a better in terms of how he does the free kick. I know it goes over the top, but at least you can see the intention of the accuracy. You know what I mean? Going in the motions when he's going straight at the keeper. And I feel like that one on the training ground was worked on. That Bruno Fernandes' one on the training ground was definitely worked on, because Matic was almost a case of he was stood there covering the keeper. And then you almost see there, Bruno Fernandes whips it in across the keeper. That, for me, I love them kind of free kicks. I don't like the free kicks where they go straight on the other side. I like the ones where they go on the other side and then the keeper doesn't assume it's there. So, yeah, definitely Bruno Fernandes. But then again, I don't even see Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood went up to the Bruno Fernandes like, oh, can I buy that trick here? And then Bruno Fernandes was like, no.
Yeah, I thought the same. I know Greenwood can take a free kick and he's on a hat trick, and I was surprised. It's like, I thought, you let Rashford have a bloody penalty for his confidence, but you won't let an 18-year-old have a bloody hat trick. But
yeah. When the game's done and dusted as well, by the way.
Yeah. But it's a bit like that Adam again, isn't it? With the mistakes, it's like, Bruno's still got 2 assists and a goal anyway. So yeah, but it would be interesting. I personally think if that's against Man City in the last 10 minutes, Bruno's like, piss off. Yeah. You're not having it.
Yeah, you could say that. We had 2 free kicks. They both hit the target. But I'm with Ollie, I'm with Ricky as well. My penalty taker is my penalty. If you scored the last penalty, then it's yours. Don't be chopping and changing it around. And this is like a go back to before about the Ollie and the next level. I'm like, I pulled him on this at Wolves. You mentioned it there with Pogba. I blamed Ollie for that draw, because we should have won that game against Wolves. Certain decisions like that, stand up and say, look, you're my penalty taker. Don't be deciding things on the pitch, because we've got too many ballers on the pitch who want the free kick. It's just going to cause more issues for me. And then I don't know, Saeed touched on it then, the free kick setup with Bruno. I don't know if you guys seen the BT footage of the voices, the pitch side monitors, and you could hear Ollie telling Matic, in front. You could see it was something they worked on. It was definitely right. But for me, Bruno gets the penalties. I was nervous. Ricky touched on it then. Yeah, I can understand Rashford needing his confidence booster. Rashford's still working his way in, but what if he missed? What would his confidence be like then? And you know what? It was a scenario that didn't need to happen. I sat there and went, why is Rashford taking his penalty? It's not like we're 3-0. It's not.
He did score it, and he is a good.
I know.
So
he is.
we need to look ahead, don't we? But
who takes the next one?
I'm just it's a good shout. You know, I'm just old school, mate. You're my penalty taker. You take penalties.
No, mate, I'm with you on that one because it just makes me more nervous. And it's that the free kicks, I can understand the change of the free kicks certain times to maybe trick the defence. But, I mean, I've not seen Pogba take one yet. Like you said, Greenwood's easy in one.
Pogba.
And
no Pogba.
Do you know what I won't be sweating, but if Martial's hitting them like that from outside the box as well, then he's got a shout as well. So
Martial's goal was absolutely fantastic.
I'm all for variety just to mix it up. And if goalkeepers are studying free kick takers and penalties like they do these days, then I understand the mixing up of free kicks, especially. But forget the penalty one. No, he's one penalty taker for me, and that's the one who should be taking every single one of them.
So City have lost to Southampton, which is interesting because we play them. I don't know whether we're at Old Trafford next week. Actually, we might because we're playing Villa Park.
Monday Night Football. Yeah,
well, it should be all right then. I mean, I know there's no crowds in the game, but I do still think United are playing better at Old Trafford, and I think teams tend to play better at home. That's a good win for them. I want to talk about that actually. Top four. We're nearly coming to the end of the show, but we'll talk top four. Good midweek results. Leicester lost and West Ham lost. We are currently, what are we at the moment? Are we 3 points off Leicester and 2 off Chelsea?
Yeah.
Everyone's had a weekend where we won. I think some people were panicking a bit yesterday. I was like, look, this is going to happen. As long as we win, sometimes Leicester and Chelsea will win, but you just keep winning. Big week ahead. Arsenal playing Leicester on Tuesday. Chelsea Palace. We don't play till Thursday against Villa. Then we've got that Southampton game. Then I think we've got Palace and West Ham ahead of Leicester. Start with you, Ricky. Top four. Do you think it's on for United now? Are you confident?
If we keep playing as we are, keeping it simple, nailed on. Absolutely nailed on. We're playing some great football.
That dig up Bruno.
You are?
I said keeping it simple like Bruno.
Yeah, like he is at the minute, yeah.
I think he's been watching. I think he's been watching Ricky's things. He gets on the edge of the box, he thinks shoot, and then he's think Ricky.
The flex last night. There was one incident yesterday that was an absolute replica of a game a week back where he had the ball 10 yards outside the box. Defenders were backing off. And I think it was Wan-Bissaka who was available on the right. And the other week his shot got blocked by the defenders or it got picked up by the keeper. And he passed it to Wan-Bissaka yesterday. An exact replica it was. And when he was striding forward with it yesterday, I thought, I hope he don't shoot here. And he didn't shoot. He passed it. And I'm absolutely confident it's been discussed. Confident.
But then he shot through 5 players at Brighton and it took a deflection because he took a chance.
Yeah, but he was only a yard outside the box. I'm not saying you can't shoot from a yard.
But not when you obviously see that many players in. There's certain decisions at certain times. I know where you're coming from. I do. But it's just I do feel like I want him to take more chances.
I've been saying that the shooting from too far has got to stop. The edge of the box is fine. And since I'm not saying this because I said it, but since I said it after the Norwich game, he hasn't had one shot for more than about 3 yards. Against Norwich, he had about 5. He's not had one shot in 2 games from more than a yard or so outside the box.
I think, you know what, that BT thing you were on about, Adam. You know that BT Sports thing Adam was on about where you can hear everyone talking? I think for the goodness of everybody's health, Ricky should be allowed into every game, so that when we can hear him on the sidelines like pass it. You can shoot now. You can shoot. Get it to Matic. Mata, warm up. Go on, Wham. Warm up.
Did you spot Matic's assist yesterday?
No, I didn't. Which one was that?
Greenwood.
Yeah, the last Greenwood's second goal.
Greenwood's second.
Oh, the one that's not really in. It's like Bruno's assist for Martial, isn't it? It's not really an assist. You give them the ball and then they produce a brilliant bit of magic. But they all count. They do all count.
They actually do count in my book because it's the simplicity of the play. Bruno's pass to Marshall. I'm not saying he would do this every time, but I've seen him in that inside left channel plenty of times. I've seen him do it twice at Goodison, where he tries to engineer the situation so he can shoot. But he's just getting it and giving it, and that led to Marshall's goal. Maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, he was trying to get a shot in himself. You know what I mean? So it does count. It is important.
Saeed, we are 3 points behind Leicester, and if everything continued as it is, we'd have to beat them on the last day of the season. However, I must just add in, if Leicester do win all their games and we don't make a massive indent on their goal difference, they would still finish above us because their goal difference is about +8 compared to ours. Chelsea seem to have got into a groove of winning. I don't think we're going to stop winning, but are you very confident we're going to get top 4? I mean, we still need them to drop more points. And do you think we will continue to win, considering, like Ricky says, after Villa, we are going to have to play a few stickier teams like Leicester, West Ham, Southampton and Palace?
Yeah, I'm still not 100% sure. I think obviously Man United always make you think like that. Someone just tells me, can this keep on flowing? Can we keep still on? Like they got the game going now. Liverpool City have beat Liverpool 5-0. They're on a roll. They lose 1-0 to Southampton. What happens in football? You know what I mean? As bad as Aston Villa are, they get a goal, sit back. And one thing with Aston Villa you don't understand is they've not conceded that many goals. 1-0 against 0-0 against Sheffield United.
They've got the second worst defence in the league, though, mate.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the after the restart. 1-0 against Wolves. It's not many goals they've conceded, so we need to score.
They can't score a goal though, Villa.
Well, there you go.
0-0 draw or lose. That's it. They can't score.
There you go. So I'm just worried about, can this keep on flowing? Is it too much too true?
I like what Saeed says there though, because he said, look, you know what? City beat Liverpool 5-0, then they lose 1-0 to Southampton. You never know in this league. And then at the start of the video, yeah, but we're only beating teams in the mid-table and at the bottom.
No, honestly,
I think you've just shown there, and I agree with you that this you don't know in this league. And I personally think the win against Brighton's our best one because Brighton were playing well before. They played well again. They beat Norwich, didn't they? They're a good team, Brighton, and we made them look bad. And Sheffield United, they drew today against Burnley. They beat Spurs after us. And everyone's like, they're playing shit. I don't think teams are playing shit. I just think we're playing really well, Adam. Do you think we will get top 4 then? You're confident?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at Chelsea having to play Sheffield United, Wolves and Liverpool at Anfield yet.
Hopefully they turn up.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Leicester going to the Emirates. And I'm thinking all of a sudden...
But the Arsenal...
Now that Arsenal doing what Arsenal do, when the pressure's off, they all start playing. When they get close to top 4, they start bottling it, don't they? But
Arsenal think they're catching us. They think they're catching us, Arsenal.
No, not a cat in hell's chance.
I'm like, you just keep winning, lads.
Because it's at the Emirates, I think this is a very, very big week. I really do. I think Leicester will drop more points. I had us in the 9 games left. I had us dropping 4 points maximum. I still feel that way, the way we're playing. Like Ricky said there, the way we're playing, I can't see us not getting in there. And I just see Leicester dropping a couple more points. I see Chelsea. That West Ham game proved to me that back line at Chelsea is not good. And Liverpool away, Sheffield United, they've got to play Wolves as well, who are still going to be chasing it because Arsenal are on their tails now. So, and if fifth is up for grabs, then Sheffield United and Wolves have got everything to play for yet. So Chelsea's games are tough. They're tough. And I've seen frailties in their back line. I think we're probably the best team in the league at the moment since lockdown's come back by a mile in terms of form. So I just feel like unless injuries kick in, I think we will make it.
It is. I mean, look, I think Chelsea's so lucky because they got Man City when they didn't give a shit, and they're going to give Liverpool. They're going to get Liverpool when they don't give a shit, and that normally wouldn't give them the points. And Leicester, Arsenal this week, they've got Sheffield United, they've got Spurs, and they've got us. So I think they will drop points. The question, I said third before lockdown, so obviously I'm going to still think we get third. But the big thing for United is that we can't drop points. If we drop points, it's going to negate anything everyone does. So we've got to just keep winning, which I think we can.
You could say it's in our hands still, no matter even if we stay now, because we batter a couple of teams and then we go to Leicester on the last day and get a 2-0 win. It's a 4-goal switch in it on the goal difference. So
they did well yesterday to beat Palace 3-0 because we didn't make anything on them, did we?
I know that was a kill. But I do feel like they have got another slip in them. Yeah, we could slip. I know we could. I'm not being totally biased on it, but I just feel like we're just in a better groove than the other teams around us right now. I just think like we've got a bit between our teeth where they are showing signs of more weakness.
I agree. I think it's going to be an interesting few weeks. And what I would say is if we do win all these games to the end of the season, it ain't just beating crap teams. That's real progress. We've had over 11,000 watching, which is fantastic on a Sunday night. Make sure you smash a like if you are watching. Really enjoy the Sunday night show, especially now we've got the football back because we can talk about things that have happened in the matches. And obviously we've got Villa on Thursday. So hopefully 3 more points. But look, let's have a roundup. Saeed, thanks for coming on. Tell everyone what you do.
Yeah, man. United Central on YouTube and at realist_187 on Twitter, man.
Ricky, thanks for coming on.
Rick the Red UK on Twitter.
Cheers, pal.
Thank you.
And Adam.
Yeah, thanks for having us again, mate. Yeah, it's Mad Red United on Twitter, on YouTube. Sorry, and all my socials are on that page.
Cheers. And thank you to all the moderators as well. Paul Robinson's giving them a shout out. And thanks everyone who's been watching. And thanks everyone who watches it live as well. Not live, sorry. Back tomorrow. And of course, all the way building up to the Villa game. And good weekend for Manchester United. Let's hope that we can continue it. And Ricky's happy. Matic is going to sign a new long-term contract. It's almost like it was planned. Oh, over the moon, look. He's going to be out in that garden, even though it's not sunny. Get the barbecue on. Get the paddling pool out.
Mate, he's no chance in Manchester right now.
Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you soon.